What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
And more.
podcast, episode 198. Hope everybody's having a good day, whatever you're doing. You're at work, you're at home, whatever you're doing. We appreciate you tapping into the live stream. We got a lot to get into. College football stuff and some other things, man. So, till we get into that, Mo, how are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling cool, man. Ready to hit these topics, man. Get ready for another week of some great sporting events, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I can't complain. Another day in the life of the world.
Yep.
All right, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk college football week 4. Talk about a few games that are going on this week. Let me pull this up. All right, one game that's coming up this week is Michigan at Nebraska. So you got Bryce Underwood versus Dylan Raiola. Nebraska had a really good showing last week. They demolished the team that they played last week. Who did they play last week? I forgot. But they destroyed the team they played last week, and Michigan did the same thing. They played pretty well against the team they played last week. um, but this will be an interesting matchup. Two young quarterbacks going at it, dueling. We'll see if Dylan Raiola continues to show improvement uh, at the quarterback position. We get to see the ascension of Bryce Underwood, who was highly touted coming out of high school, a 5-star recruit. Continuing to show flashes on the field, but also showing that he is a freshman and he makes a few mistakes here and there. So, what's your feelings about this game?
No, this is kind of a great meter stick on to see how Nebraska can fare up against bigger competition. You know what I mean? I think everybody's been kind of patiently waiting for this Dylan Raiola explosion to happen. You know what I mean? He's had high expectations layered on him due to a lot of Patrick Mahomes comparisons, whether it's through his play or how he dresses, all that type of stuff. So he puts a lot of pressure on himself, especially with some of the things he does. You know what I mean? Whether it's dressing up like him and all that. So, and then his play style. So I think Nebraska is a very talented team. I think Matt Rule, we know his history with coaching, that he usually is able to get these college programs rolling a little bit. Obviously he hasn't won the national championship or anything like that, but he's had some pretty decent teams. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how the battle is with Michigan going into Nebraska. The environment should be live and active, man. So should be interesting to see these two young quarterbacks battle it out.
Yeah, for sure. That will be a good, interesting measure and stick for both guys to see where they're at so far. See the improvements in Dylan Raiola. See if this defense, Matt Rule, can keep this high-powered offense of Michigan under wraps. Can they confuse Bryce Underwood and make him turn the football over? Can they stop this running game? Because we all know that Michigan always has a good running back. They always have a good running game. Is this one of the games where the court coach is suspended? Michigan.
Uh, yeah. You know what? This might be the first game that the head coach is suspended because it is a Big Ten game. So yeah.
So this will be interesting to see if the assistant or the assistant head coach can make the proper adjustments, and if he does get a win against Nebraska, this could get his name buzzing out there as a potential head coach somewhere else who possibly needs a head coach out there. So we'll see how the assistant head coach does. Fortunately, I don't know his name, but yeah, we'll get to see what he can do and how he coaches the adjustments and to the game plan, and whatever Matt Rule and them throws at him, saying can he make adjustments on the fly. So, all right, man. Another game is Illinois versus Indiana. Both are ranked. We get to see if these two teams could show themselves. This is a Big 12 matchup, ain't it?
Which matchup are you talking about?
Indiana versus Illinois.
Yeah, this is a Big Ten matchup. Yeah.
So this is going to be Another interesting one. Both of these teams made some improvement. Indiana showed themselves last year. They made the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah, they did. They lost to
Yeah,
Notre Dame.
yeah, they
Mhm.
lost to Notre Dame. So the two programs that are ascending. Illinois had made some strides too. They added some talent on this team too. So we'll see these two teams go head to head, and it should be a good matchup.
Nah, it should definitely be a great matchup. You know, what I mean, we saw what the Indiana team was able to accomplish last year. You know, they came out of nowhere, and for them to be able to make it to the playoffs was definitely a great thing for that program. Obviously, I think going into the season, I think Illinois has had a lot of high praise. You know, I've even seen some experts even pick them to make the playoffs and potentially make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. So I think this is going to be a big game for both. You know, what I mean, it's going to kind of put them in a nice trajectory into maybe having a legit shot of actually competing for a playoff spot. Obviously, Illinois is ranked 9, Indiana's ranked 19th. Obviously,
Mhm,
Indiana will have the advantage with it being at home.
mhm.
I definitely think this game is going to come down to the wire. I think Illinois' offense has been playing exceptionally well. Also, Indiana as well. But you know, Indiana was known for having a decent defense last year as well as their offense. Their offense was really explosive last year. But you know, we'll see, man. We'll see how these teams rise up with another, and with this being the night game, you know, that atmosphere is going to be live in Indiana.
Yeah, for sure. Another Big Ten matchup is Purdue going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is seeking their first win. They had two losses, tough losses, and both of them came down to the wire. The first one in Miami, the second one. Who did they play? LSU last week, or who they play?
Who Notre Dame? They played
Yeah,
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Yeah, so they had two tough matchups out the gate, and this is going to be another. But Purdue's not going to lay down for them. So we'll see if they can bounce back and finally get a win in the win column, and see if this kid CJ Carr can have a bounce. You know, he had a pretty decent game, but he had some turnovers too. See if he can bounce back from that, and see if they can get this running game going again with Jeremiah Love, and see if this defense can get in right shape because they've gave up a lot of points these past two games. So
Yeah.
we'll see if they can give Purdue some problems.
Yeah, no, for real. Everything you said, I totally agree. This is a big game for Notre Dame. 0-2. They're lucky they're still even ranked 24th. So you know, what I mean, they need this. They need this season to kind of flip. You know, what I mean, it's not been the trajectory that a lot of people have anticipated for this team. Even myself, I had Notre Dame being one of the more dominant teams in this nation and competing for an actual national championship. I thought this team would probably be a little bit better than what they were last year, but unfortunately, due to losing some close games, it's not like they got blown out or anything like that. They lost to some two very very tough teams in Miami on the road and Texas A&M, who's been pretty hot earlier in the season at home. But their schedule isn't in the most agreeable state for them to kind of climb up the ranks. You know what I mean? They do have a couple, other games. I think they play USC, which is ranked. You know what I mean? They still got Boise State, and Pitt, Syracuse, and at Stanford. So it's not like they haven't many ranked teams. The only ranked team they got left is USC. So they got to win out. They got to be very, very impressive. They should dominate against this Purdue team, even though Purdue has played somewhat decent. But they need a very dominant performance, get this confidence back up, and hopefully, some of the chips can go their way, and they might have a chance to maybe get back into the playoff. Because we all know the committee would love to have Notre Dame in the playoff tournament.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We got Auburn, number 22 Auburn, going to number 11 uh, Oklahoma, and this is a interesting matchup because Jackson Arnold, who was a former quarterback of Oklahoma, he's probably hyped up to get a little bit of get back. Oklahoma probably felt like he got done wrong, even though he didn't play well. And he
Yeah.
got benched for a reason, but he wants to show up his old team, especially the other quarterback on the other side who has Heisman and draft hopes in Meter, who's playing really well this year. This is going to be a really good game and a SEC matchup that should be another good matchup, just like last week when we got some good matchups.
Nah, for real. I think Oklahoma, they've been riding high. I mean, big win against Michigan. They got a big game with Texas coming up here, I think in a week or two. But this is going to be a big test for Oklahoma. I think this is going to be one of the tests that really shows if they really are national championship contenders. The quarterback, I forgot my man's name. He's been balling out. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's climbing up the NFL draft boards. I know he's probably getting more recognition. This team has just looked so impressive. And going up against Auburn, a true SEC opponent, man, it's gonna be interesting. Obviously, they should have the advantage with Oklahoma being at home, but this could be a trap. You know what I mean? I know Auburn is 22, but it's going to be a tough game, and this is really going to kind of prove to see whether Oklahoma is ready, to play with the big boys. Again, even with that win against Michigan, Underwood is a young quarterback that has a lot of promise. That was probably his toughest game he's probably ever played, especially on that road. So I don't think we got the true sentiment of what Michigan can be. I think they'll be better as the year goes on because I think he will be better. But we'll see with Oklahoma, man. This team has a lot of promise, and this is definitely one of the more intriguing games of the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Another game that team could be on upset alert. Ole Miss, they got Tulane coming in town, and Tulane's been looking really good this year. The
Mhm.
quarterback, he's pretty good. I think his name is Ratzliff, I think his name is. But we'll see if they've been squeaking out some wins this year. And this might be another one that could put them on upset alert. Tulane ain't no slouch. They're only 13.5 favorites, so they only got a favored by 2 touchdowns. So that means that they don't think that they just gonna run over 'em. So,
Right.
so this could be an interesting high. This could be a high power offense game right here, where you see them in the 30s and 40s. So,
Nah, yeah.
because it seems like most of Ole Miss games have been like that this year. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Nah, I agree with you. This definitely could be a trap game for Ole Miss. Their defense hasn't really been performing pretty well at all. I know their offense has been clicking, but that Ole Miss defense can get got. Tulane, as you said, has looked really, really impressive. I feel like Tulane is always one of those teams that always are sneaky good. You know what I mean? Like they'll go in and you'll look up and they're close with Alabama or even a team like an Ole Miss or something like that, and maybe potentially even beat them. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same route. Ole Miss should be on high upset alert, but I think they'll end up pulling it out.
Yeah, for sure. I know you don't want to hear this, but your Florida Gators are facing Miami, number 4 Miami, and Miami has been looking really good.
Yeah.
Carson Beck has looked pretty solid this
Mhm.
season so far.
Mhm.
DJ Lagway, he's coming off a 5 interception game
Yeah.
last week. We're gonna see if he can bounce back, man. If he can get a dub against Miami, I think Florida will be just fine. This is all about how they coach this team up and get them ready. They're at home, and this is a in-state rivalry. So you guys got to show up and show out in the swamp, and we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, this is really going to dictate how much heart this team has left for this season because we're hitting in one of the most tough stretches of the season. I've talked about our schedule and with nauseum, so I'm not going to go through it again. But everybody knows if you haven't seen the schedule, look at the schedule. But I'm curious to see the bounce back with DJ Lagway. He had a terrible performance with those 5 interceptions. That's not the DJ Lagway that we've grown accustomed to. This defense has performed very, very well, even against LSU. I think they performed well enough to where we should be, where we could have won that game if we didn't get some bad turnovers and some bad calls going against us. But Billy Napier, man, what I mean? It's just another example of what are you going to do? You know what I mean? I honestly don't expect much from this team because I'm not a fan of Billy Napier. I do have high expectations for DJ Lagway. I think he will have a better game. I just don't think it will be good enough. And I assume Miami will win this game, but we'll see. You know what I mean? There's always a possibility, especially with the way our defense plays, but this offense has been putrid, and we definitely need something because this Gator fan base is over it. It's over. It's over it with this inconsistency with the talent that we have on this team.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, this is put up or shut up. I know it's still early in the season, but if you guys can get a dub against Miami, I think all will be fine and all will be well. So,
Yeah. Get ready for Texas after that. So.
Really? Do you really have to get ready for that?
We got no choice. Stay on schedule. Stay on schedule. Yeah, but
So my Missouri Tigers, they're facing South Carolina this week. we'll see if Lenora Sellers plays. They said he is questionable to play in this game. I think he's going to try to do everything he can to play in this game because if he doesn't, then I think Missouri is just they're gonna beat them. And this is all going to be controlled. Now, I do like what I see from the quarterback, Bo Probila. He's looked really well this season, but it's all about our running game. Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts, both of them kids,
Yeah.
ballers. We got some good receivers too. The Coleman kid, he's really nice too, and the Johnson kid is nice too. But those two running backs, they might be solidifying themselves as top 50 pick,
Yeah. Hmm.
especially both of them because both of them look like ballers. They control the offense. Where they go, that's where the offense goes, and it makes life easier for the quarterback, play action pass, and those receivers getting open. But on the other side, Dylan Stewart, who's emerging as a good defensive lineman, as a pass rusher. This kid is a physical freak, and he can wreck a game. So we'll see if he can come in and make some waves in this game and wreck this game up. But I expect Missouri to win this game, regardless if Lenore Sellers plays or not. I just think that offensively we have more pieces on the team, and I think that defensively we'll do enough to win this game. I think we'll control the clock with the running game, though.
Yeah, no, I really hope that Sellers does play. I was really looking forward to this game and that matchup between you two guys. This is like one of
Mhm.
the first big matchups for South Carolina and Missouri as well. You know, I
Mhm.
know obviously you guys had the big game against Kansas, but obviously this is obviously a bigger game. So hopefully
Mhm.
we get that matchup, the true matchup, because I think this is a must win for South Carolina to keep their hopes up alive for a playoff spot. Because if you lose this, you got to look at it. You got Kentucky after that, then you're at LSU, then you got Oklahoma, then you got Alabama, then you got at Ole Miss, then at Texas A&M, and then you finish off with Clemson. Even though how piss poor Clemson is and how much Dabo Sweeney needs to be fired, like that's still going to be a tough matchup. So South Carolina better win this game. If they don't win this game, like their playoff hopes are done because with that schedule, you'll be lucky to go 500. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. You got Michigan State traveling to US number 25 USC. Michigan State has been playing really well this year. You got that kid, the quarterback Childs from Michigan State. He was highly touted coming out of college too. He's been playing really well. And then you got Mavia, the quarterback from USC, who's been balling himself. This is gonna be a pretty good matchup. See which one of these two can emerge. It's a Big Ten matchup too, so we'll see which one of these teams can make a name for themselves. I think if Michigan State wins this game, they'll definitely be ranked after this week. And then USC, they want to keep their rankings and possibly move up in rankings depending on who wins and lose this week in college games this week.
yeah, no, I think USC's been one of the more impressive teams this year so far. I think their offense has been very explosive. I think this team should have been ranked since last week. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But this is a huge game. You know what I mean? Hopefully they don't overlook it. They should beat Michigan State, especially at home, because they got to go to at Illinois next week. So and then you got Michigan, and then you're at Notre Dame, and then at Nebraska. Like USC schedule is tough. But if USC can get back to the nostalgia of what they used to be before. What I mean, they have a great shot with that schedule to be one of the top, make it into the top 10, maybe even top 5 if they can really outperform. So I think this is going to be a great test to get ready for a big game next week. So hopefully they don't overlook it and they can take care of business.
Yeah, for sure. And then you have number 17 Texas Tech traveling to Utah to face number 16 Utah. This is a Big 12 matchup. Both of these teams are playing really well this year. I know Texas Tech had the early loss in the season to Nebraska, but they bounced back since then. Utah, they're always good. They always have a really good program, and I don't expect nothing different. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, man. I think
Mhm.
I think this is gonna be in the 40s. I just think whoever hits the ball last, that's who's gonna win this game. So
Yeah. Yeah, man, Devon Dampier, man, he's looked really impressive, man, for
mhm.
Utah. This is going to be a huge matchup, obviously, especially for seeding for this conference. You know what I mean? With Texas Tech and Utah both being 3-0, You still got Houston. You still got Iowa State. You still got BYU, TCU. All these teams are undefeated. You don't want a loss. You know what I mean? So it's going to be huge. You expect Utah, especially at home. They are very, very tough at home. And they have an explosive quarterback. You know what I mean? Something that we haven't seen in a minute at Utah, man. Probably since like maybe Alex Smith days. You know what I mean? As far as like how athletic, he is. So it's going to be a great matchup. I think this is. I agree with you. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the game of the day. It sucks. I feel like this should be a night game. I feel like the atmosphere would be way better, but the big noon at kickoff at Fox is, they got to do what they got to do. So, but I'm looking forward to this matchup early in the morning.
Yeah, me too. You got SMU traveling to TCU. This is another Big 12 matchup. Both of these teams have looked really well. One is 2-1, the other one, TCU, is 2-0. Another high-powered offense game.
Yeah.
Another game where it's going to be like in the 30s or 40s, and whoever has the ball last. Now, I will say Jennings, he has to calm down on some of the interceptions that he throws in big spots. But we'll see. We'll see. Hoover, he's been playing really well himself, and we'll see. We'll see who wins.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I've been kind of pretty disappointed with SMU. I feel like last year they had so much swagger, even going into that Penn State game. You know what I mean? You just felt like maybe this offense could do something. But I feel like Penn State just kind of beat them down to the point where I don't know if they even have that confidence like they used to. You know what I mean? Like just like where they feel like they can go in and dominate, especially on that offensive side. That defense, I expected a lot better. But we're gonna see, man. Like TCU is gonna be a really, really tough game, man. We know that TCU program last year wasn't really good. We expect TCU to eventually get back to what we are accustomed to. You know what I mean? They were just in the national championship game, I think, 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. SMU on the road, but again, this game can also compete for being game of the week for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You got West Virginia traveling to Kansas to face KU. See if Kansas can bounce back after their loss to Mizzou. They had a bye week last week, so we'll see if they made the adjustments that they made. Once again, Big 12, no defense, all offense. It's going to be up in the 30s again. I think I'm going to roll with Kansas, though. I think Jalen Daniels is going to make some plays in this game, and I think he pulls it out at the end.
No, I agree with you. That was a really tough loss. They started out pretty great going up against Missouri, but then it just kind of all hit the wall right there. So I do expect to come back, you know what I mean, for Kansas. As long as he's healthy, I think they will produce, and I think they will win games. So I'm gonna roll with you. I think Kansas will get the bounce back.
And you got Arizona State traveling to Baylor to see if they can get a dub up there. Arizona State, they've been kind of a little off kilter this year. Not as impressive as they was last year. We thought Sam Levitt was gonna take a step, do some things. It's still early, but this Baylor team is really good, and they've been, like we said last week, they've been showing the glimpse of having that high power offense and looking like the old Baylor with RG3 and all that stuff. So I think that this could be a potential another high scoring game. But I think I'm a roll. I think I'm a roll with Baylor in this one. I think Baylor's going to get the upset this week.
I agree with you. This is definitely like take the over. I think the over or under is like 60 something. I would definitely take the over in this. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing went into overtime. But I'm gonna take Arizona State, man. I think Sam Levitt. I think he's a really solid quarterback. I think he's accustomed playing on the road. We've seen him playing in big games. Maybe they might miss the toughness of a Cam Scatterboo on that offensive side or something like that. Even though I do like the running back, who they have, Raleek Brown. He hasn't performed bad at all. You know, I mean, he has 292 yards so far in the season. You know, he's averaging 8.3. He has 2 TDs. I'm very curious to see how they perform on the road. Baylor is a tough team. We seen what they are able to do. But I'm gonna roll with Arizona State. I think they're able to squeak one out on the road and get a huge win on the road.
Then you have Colorado facing Wyoming. Now, last week Colorado got beat down really bad against Houston. It wasn't close at all. I know they had the third string quarterback come in and start. I don't know if he's playing again. I don't know if he's starting again, but they got to get a win. They got to get a win because it's been up and down so far with Colorado. Their quarterback situation, they got to get that figured out. And once they get that figured out, hopefully, that Dion and that team can get on track. But until then, it's not going to look good for Colorado this year.
Yeah, you can just kind of tell that Dion's having a hard time trusting whoever it is to run this team on the offensive side. This is going to be a really huge game for Dion. We already know like the critics are out for Dion at all times, but this is going to be huge, man. You saw a lot of frustration on that sideline last week with Colorado. Can he keep these kids into it? Can he keep these kids mentally into these games and keep fighting and keep fighting for this team and try to get these wins? And the season isn't lost. I know they're 1-2, but they still have a long road to go where they can actually accomplish something. And maybe even if the cards bounce right, maybe even have a small opportunity to make the playoffs. But it's going to be really, really key to see how involved he can keep these kids into it because with all the frustration you saw, it's not looking good right now. It's not looking good, and I think even Dion kind of senses that a little bit. And I think people sense it because I just don't think he has the faith in the biggest position on his team, and that's quarterback. He's been accustomed to coaching Shador, his son, and he will always have faith in his son. This is new territory for him, and I think he's kind of like on a learning track right now. We both believe, me and you, that Dion is a great head coach. I think he's established that, but there will always be critics, and this is his first time coaching without his son. And I think for both parties, we see even with Shador, you know what I mean? It's tough. You know what I mean? You have that stability, you have that person you can count on, father, son. It's different, and he's definitely going through a learning phase right now as a head coach. But I think they'll eventually bounce back. I think they'll win this game.
Yeah, for sure. You got Syracuse traveling to Clemson. Clemson had a tough loss last week, losing to who they played last week.
Who did Clemson lose to last week? They lost to
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Yeah.
They had a tough loss to Georgia Tech last week. They went into overtime, didn't they?
No, I think they lost. I think they lost in 4 quarters.
Okay. Syracuse is coming in town, and Syracuse is not no slouch of themselves. So Clemson's gonna have to wake up, or if they fall to 1-3, man, it might be bad for Dabo. Might be really bad for Dabo. So they better get it together.
It's gonna get bad for Dabo. I think Syracuse is winning this game. I think this Clemson team is cooked. It's giving me Florida State vibes. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This team is giving me Florida State vibes. You can't sit here and tell me anything. Like, Chris, let me ask you, what's been the most impressive thing you've seen from Clemson so far this year? Nothing. The defensive line we hyped up, the quarterback that's supposed to be a top 10 pick, a running game that we expected to be a whole lot better, receivers that should be at the top of their class, and a head coach that should be on the same par as a Ryan Day, and all the and whoever else that's at the top of the stratosphere for a head coaching job in college. And this team is giving me Florida State vibes from last year. I just see a team that isn't prepared. I see a team that isn't willing to fight. I see a team that's willing to quit. It seems like players are ready to just move on with the season. It seems like they're ready for moving on. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting with this team. So we'll see what kind of fight they got left, because I think Syracuse can go into Clemson and beat this squad. You know what I mean? And it's gonna say a lot about their character right now. You know what I mean? I'm not really the biggest fan of what Clemson has going on, and then you got Bill Belichick coming in, and you know what I mean. So we'll see what's up, but it's not looking good, man. I think if I had to bet, I would take the upset.
And then we got our boys, UNLV, traveling to Miami, Ohio. They just coming off a bye week. I know last week we previewed this game, but they had a bye week last week, so our bad.
Yeah.
But they are traveling to Miami, Ohio. We'll see what adjustments Dan Mullen made in the bye week to get these guys ready for Miami. to play more 4 quarters football. I know last when they played UCLA, first half they looked like a juggernaut on both
Mhm.
sides of the ball, but then it started, trickling down with bad penalties and just being undisciplined in certain things, and then you know even though Calandra has been playing real, he had a bad pick that kind of kept him around in the game. I think that UNLV should have probably blew out UCLA, and we all see where UCLA is now. They lost the head coach, they lost their starting quarterback. So I expect Dan Mullen to have made some adjustments, get in film study, show these kids, where they need to make improvements at. And I expect them to go out there and play with their heads on fire. And I expect a big, big win over Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, me too. No disrespect to Miami of Ohio, but this should be light work. We're the last undefeated team in our conference in the Mountain West. I think we are the best team in the conference. Honestly, I'm not worried about the win. As long as they come ready to play, I think they'll be all right. I think my main keys that I want to see is I want to see Jaden Thomas. I want to see the involvement in him. I want to see some of the creativity you can get with him. I want to see this defense get better. I want to see this defensive line put a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. But yeah, my biggest key is I want to see Jaden. I want to see Jaden get the ball more. I want to see him be the star not quarterback, running back that he should be. So, Dan Mullen, if you want to try to test a couple new plays out, I think this is the game to do it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't have any worries as long as this team comes ready to play. I think this should be a blowout, man. I think we should be able to change the channel by mid to end of third quarter.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, man. Let's do our NFL top 10 rankings.
This is Chris Dallin Mall's NFL Top 10 Power Rankings. This is Chris Dallin Mall's NFL Top 10 Power Rankings.
Go for it, man. I'll let you go first.
All right. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I got the 49ers at number 10 only because, they playing with their backup quarterback, Mac Jones. I know Brock Purdy possibly, even though Mac Jones played really well, this defense is what's keeping this team afloat. The offense, I mean, they made some plays. Jamon Jennings had a really good game. But this was all about this defense. Let's just keep it real. Nick Bosa was Nick Bosa last week, and he
Mhm.
had some closing out drives last week. And Robert Saleh is the MVP of this team. But 49ers, they're playing really well. I got to give them like you said earlier, it's a wait and see. Number 9, I'm going to roll with the
Yeah.
Colts. I'm going to roll with the Colts. I like what I'm seeing from the Colts, but I still got to see a little bit. I see a little bit more. I got to see a little bit more from
Mhm.
Danny Dimes. I know it looks good, but you know who looked good the first 2 weeks of the season last year? Your boy Derek Carr. And then it all went downhill. So
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
to see some more. I think their defense is really good, and I think Lou Amarillo is a really good defensive coordinator. I think the defense is actually really, really good. And I do think they have some offensive pieces over there. I think Michael Pittman, he doesn't get talked about enough. I think he's actually
Yeah.
a really good wide receiver.
Mhm.
I think he's good at what he does. You know what I'm saying? He has Mike Evans vibes to me. You know what I'm saying? Big, tall wide receiver that just knows how to get open and
Yeah, I agree.
catch those 50-50 balls. And then they got some other good wide receivers, Pierce and Josh Downs and AD Mitchell, all of them. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Jonathan Taylor is Jonathan Taylor. So,
Mhm.
but I think this defense is what's really keeping them afloat. But Daniel Jones is running this offense really well, and the trajectory is up. But I still got to see more.
Yeah.
Number 8, I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. I do think the Buccaneers eventually will be up there with the Eagles and the Packers and all of them. They got to get healthy. I think they got to get healthy, and once they get all their pieces back, they're gonna look like those teams. I think. I
Yeah.
think I think Baker Mayfield. Don't be surprised if Baker Mayfield. We're looking at the end of the season and he's in MVP talks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I had already had that expectation because I have Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game this year. So I think the Buccaneers are going to be just fine. They just got to get Tristan Wirth back. I know they lost their defensive tackle. What's his name? I forget his name. Clancy, I think his name is. He's out for the season. So we'll see how that affects because he's a big part of their defensive line. So
Mm-hmm.
especially rushing the passer. So we'll see how that affects them. But outside of that, maybe we'll see mid-season. Maybe they be in the Christian Wilkins sweepstakes. You know what I'm saying? And go sign
Right.
him to go all in this year.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. But I do like what I'm seeing from the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, I'm gonna go with the Lions. Man, they put the beats on the Bears after looking putrid against the Packers. They say y'all must have forgot. Shout out to Roy Jones, but they came out there and put the beats on Chicago, and it wasn't even close. Now that might have more to do to Chicago than than Detroit, but I still think Detroit is really good. Their offensive weapons, they got too many offensive weapons over here to look as bad as they looked against the Packers. I just think they got caught with their pants down against the Packers. I think that the offense and defensive coordinator was their first game. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
think that they went back to the drawing board, probably simplified some things, and was just like, look, we got too many weapons out here. Let's get the ball to Armand St. Brown. Let's get the ball to Jameson Williams. Let's get Jameer Gibbs and Montgomery involved, and let's stop playing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's what they did. Number 6, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. They did give the Jets the beats, but and like I said, so they're successful when James Cook is cooking. You
Yeah.
can't have Josh Allen throwing 40, 50 times. And they did that last week. And they did everything that they were supposed to do. I don't know if I still believe in this defense. I just think
Mm-hmm.
that was just a bad Jets team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see how they look this week. You know what I'm saying? I know we talking trash about Miami. Miami did put some points up last week.
Yeah.
And New England ain't a bad defense. So I'll say let's see how they look tomorrow against the Bills. Against Miami, and see if that defense can stop Tyreek Hill. I know Waddle's hurt; he might be out, but we'll see. We'll see. Number 5, I'm gonna roll with the Ravens. The Ravens look really good against the Browns. It took a little bit of time. Derrick Henry really didn't get nothing going last week, but it was all Lamar Jackson. He had 4 touchdowns. He looked pretty solid. And I expect no different this week. But yeah, I got the Ravens at 5. Number 4, I got the Rams. I just think that Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, that young defensive line is one of the best defensive lines in the business.
Yeah.
Verse, Fisk, Young, all of
Mm-hmm.
those boys. Man, they was giving Cam Ward pure hell. Now I know his offensive line ain't that good, but still. I
Yeah.
think the Rams, if Matthew Stafford can stay relatively healthy, the Rams are going to be right there for a Super Bowl, I think. Number 3, I got to give them love, the Chargers. They look good these past 2 weeks. They beat the Chiefs. They beat your Raiders. They're 2-0 in the division right now, and they play the Broncos this week. They could be 3-0 in the division this week, y'all. So I gotta show them a little love, even though I can't stand their asses because they always get this off-season Super Bowl handed to them all the time. But
Yeah.
so far, between 2 weeks, they've looked good. We'll see if the Chargers are going to charge her going down the stretch. And then number 2, I got the Eagles. The Eagles are the Eagles. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. Their defense is still really good. They held my Chiefs in check. You know what I'm saying? Offensively, I understand they're trying to figure things out. They do have a new offensive coordinator this year too themselves, so they're probably figuring some things out. But he got to figure out a way to get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. There's no reason why these past 2 weeks that those brothers are MIA.
Yeah.
I understand. is, it's one thing the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they know them. They've played against them. Even though I don't think the Cowboys defense is that good, I think our defense, Chiefs defense, is better than the Cowboys defense.
Mhm.
But still, you can't have you can't play like this all season and expect to win. I'm sorry. 101 yards passing, no touchdowns, like nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if Travis Kelsey catches that pass, we don't know what we're talking about. We might be talking about Eagles 1-1. If CeeDee Lamb catches that pass, they may be 0-2. So the Eagles, they got to figure out that offense. The defense is fine, but that offense, they got to figure that out. And then number one, I got the Packers. I just think the Packers are rolling. I think the Micah Parsons trade took their momentum to a whole nother level. And you could see the energy flying on both sides of the ball, but especially on that defensive line. Uh, Rashawn Gary, Wyatt, like all them boys, that the corners, like they playing good, man. They're playing good ball. And offensively, you get the ball to Josh Jacobs. Um, I would like them to see them get Matthew Golden more involved, especially since Reed is going to be out. But Tucker Kraft is looking like he might be another tight end that is emerging this year because him and Jordan Love have a synergy right now these past
Yeah,
two.
he's killing.
Yeah, so I just I think they're running right now. It's only 2 weeks in. We'll see. But if they can stay relatively healthy, the Packers should be right there. They might be on top, with the Detroit Lions, because we'll see how they look when they go to Detroit and face Detroit and play them in Detroit. But if they can beat Detroit this year and get this division, we could be looking at the Packers as the 1 seed this year. So
Yeah. Not bad list. I like the list. Um, my number 10, I'll start number 10. I agree with you. I got the San Francisco 49ers. I thought it was pretty impressive by what they did. Even though it was on the road against the New Orleans Saints, with Brock Purdy being out. We expect this team, if everybody stays healthy in their current state, we expect this team to get even healthier. Robert Saleh has probably been defensive coordinator of the year. He might be the MVPs so far of this year right now, as far as like in the coaching standpoint. But if this team can stay healthy, they can get Brandon Ayuk back. They could get Kittle back. Some other key players, Brock Purdy. This team can only go through the roof, man. And it gives you that feel of like that 49ers team that a lot of people used to fear going into the playoffs. A rugged team that knows how to run the ball, that can play off the play action pass. You got some explosion with Ricky Purcell and Juwan Jennings, and you'll get Brandon Ayuk back. He'll have some fresh legs for the most part, even though he is coming off a knee injury. So we'll see what's up. Hopefully they can get that George Kittle hamstring under control. But again, this just gives them a little bit more time. Like they don't have to rush him back. That they can just play it safe with him. Make sure he's 100%. Number 9, I got the Colts. I think that defense has been really impressive. I think Cam Bynum is a very excellent, opportunistic defensive back who I think he already has 2 picks already this season. Because I could have swore I saw him do another dance week 1 or something like that. He's definitely the best end zone dancer for sure. But Jonathan Taylor is looking like one of the best backs in the league. This is Jonathan Taylor we kind of expected. Daniel Jones has looked amazing. Like he's kind of looking like, and I get it, it's only been 2 games, but he's around a competent team with a great defense. That can give him the ball, a great running game. He has great weapons on the outside. This is kind of giving you maybe like some Baker Mayfield vibes with like a resurgence type of thing. And I'm not saying that's what he's going to be, because what Baker Mayfield is doing is exceptionally well, especially from the situation he came from. But it's something to keep an eye on. I think the Colts could be one of those sleeper teams that you never know if everything goes right. That might be the one team where it's like, damn, I never thought they would make it to the conference championship, but here they are. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like how we thought with the Commanders. Number 8, I got the Detroit Lions, man. I think they kind of put everybody back on notice. This team is just too talented on both sides of the ball for them to be bad. I think it was a situation where I think they were just still kind of get reacclimated into, the new offensive coordinator status. I think it was just a big game, especially, you kind of talked about it with the Packers with all that momentum. Again, Michael Parsons going into Green Bay. I just think it was tough. I just think Green Bay is just an excellent team. But this Detroit Lions team should be scary. And I think people should fear them because that team is way too talented. And this roster is top 3. You know what I mean? This should be a ranked top 3 as far as like what the roster is consistent of. So I wouldn't be surprised eventually in our list that the Lions will be back in the top. Number 6, I got the Chargers. I know the Chargers are like the media darling. I know a lot of people have them high up, but you got to take everything into perspective with this team. I know Justin Herbert played his best game against the Chiefs, but we got to look at the dynamic of that. It was in Brazil. It was in a terrible field conditioning aspect. They didn't have Rashid Rice. They lost Xavier Worthy first couple plays into the game. You know what I mean? I just think it was just a weird situation. It was on a Friday night. Just a weird atmosphere. And then when you go to the Raider game, if it wasn't for Geno Smith throwing the worst balls we've ever seen in the history of quarterback play, like the Raiders still had chances to win that game. So I'm not saying like this team can't improve, but it's not like they've been world beaters at all. And then that running game hasn't really been impressive. I do like what they have on the receiving core. Quentin Johnson has performed really well. We all know what Lab McConkey is, but the Khalil Mack injury, I think that's going to be tough. Who knows how long he's going to be out? I don't know if he had like a broken wrist or a broken arm. That play looked disgusting. So prayers out to him. Hopefully he can be healthy. But I'm just not going to put them all the way up there just yet. I got to see a little bit more. Number 5, I got the Bucs, man. I think this team could be one of the teams that I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the Super Bowl, because this offensively, they might have the best offense in the entire NFL. It might not even be close, because they're still going to get Chris Godwin back. Emeka Egbuka is looking like offensive rookie of the year at this current state right now. Like you still got Mike Evans, who's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Bucky Irvin is out there just juking people like he like the next Barry Sanders. Cade Otton, I think he's a top tier tight end that I don't think he just get appreciated about more. And then on top of that, I think this defense is pretty damn good. I think this defense is pretty damn good. You're about to get Tristan Wirfs back, so that's going to help the offensive line and help Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield, he can easily be competing for an MVP. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's had the best games these last 2 weeks, but, you know what I mean, just the confidence level of him being able to come back in these games, and both on the road. They haven't even had a home game yet. Like, I think that's truly impressive. So I think the Bucs should be at number 5. Number 4, I got the Ravens, man. Like, the Ravens should be 2-0. They really should be 2-0. Like, they're 1-1, but they're dominant. Lamar Jackson's looking like an MVP. DeAndre Hopkins looking like he looks like Texans DeAndre Hopkins right now. Zay Flowers, they still haven't even got, I think Isaiah Likely's still a little banged up. They haven't even got Mark Andrews involved. Derrick Henry is turned into a fumbler right now, which is not something we're accustomed to seeing. I expect him to be a lot better than that. But this team is going to be at the end. You know what I mean? They're gonna be competing for a championship. Whether they can get over the hump, that's just going to be the big key. But I have no worries about this team. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being back number 1 on the ranking list. Number 3, I got the Buffalo Bills. I have them at 3. I was kind of considering putting the Ravens above them, even though they beat them. It's something about this team. Like, I do agree. I was happy to see James Cook getting the ball, because I think that's just what they need to do with Josh Allen. I don't think you need to play a lot of hero ball. But I'm still not convinced with this defense. I'm really not. I get they played the Jets, man. Like, what are we talking about? The Jets aren't really the most offensive gifted team, even though they do have some talent on that squad. But I just think they're going through kind of like a rebuilding situation. Justin Fields, he did get hurt with a concussion. But I'm gonna have the Bills at 3. Number 2 and number 1, I agree. I got the Eagles 2. I got the Packers 1. I know the Eagles are champions, but that offense looks terrible. I do agree with you. They need to find a way to get A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith the ball. Saquon Barkley still hasn't had a really great Saquon game. We do expect that. The offensive line has been hit or miss. But let me just say this, man. People got to shut up about this tush push stuff. Like, if you guys are going to ban that, then just ban QB sneaks. Just ban all that. I don't want to hear all this stuff that this is the worst play to watch. We see the play maybe 3-4 times at most. I think last week was just an exception where we saw it like 6 times, but I think people need to get over that rule. I don't think it should be banned. I don't think the Eagles should be punished. I think they should call it the correct way. If it is a false start, call a false start. But even then, even when it's a QB sneak and we see it with Josh Allen and whoever else, it still be the same thing. You still have the offensive line still trying to gear position, and they'll jump the snap before the ball is even snapped. So I just think people are making a bigger deal than what it is. And then the Green Bay Packers, man, like Micah Parsons might be Saquon Barkley for this year. You could just tell this defense is explosive. I'm truly impressed. I had some questions about the cornerbacks, but they look dominant last week. Like them cornerbacks, I forgot my man's name. I think his name is like Nixon or some Stokes. Yeah, they all looked amazing. Like that, they looking like one of the all-time great defenses right now. That's what they looking. Rashawn Gary and Michael Parsons, that's a scary ass duo. And then on top of that, I know they have injuries on that offensive side. I still question the receivers. I do expect Matthew Golden to play better. Josh Jacobs has played amazing as well. You already talked about Kraft. The Jaden Reed injury does suck. Who knows how long he's going to be out? But again, this team is all in. I wouldn't be surprised if they consider making another trade and getting maybe a top receiver, because I just think they're a believer in this team. I think this is a team that maybe Chris Olave, they should look into maybe a Chris Olave or something like that, or if they got the money for it, Tyreek Hill. Like, you're all in, so just go for it. Even if it's for like a 1-year rental, just go all in. You put one of those cats on this team might be unstoppable. So the Packers are easily the number one team as far as like just the eye test. They look the best.
Yeah, for sure. No question about it, sir. All right, man. We'll be right back with a quick commercial break.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. It's power-packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors, because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement, whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris and Mall to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris and Mall to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
All right, man. It's time for a little bit of fantasy start and see it.
Yeah, man. So for my fantasy starts, I love CeeDee Lamb versus Chicago. We saw what the Chicago Bears look like and how putrid that defense looks. Who knows if Johnson will be playing? I don't know if he's going to miss another week. But CeeDee Lamb against that defense, I think that's money. I like Penix versus the Panthers. We saw what Kyle Murray was able to do last week. I think the Falcons have better overall weapons. I think Penix is probably a better thrower of the football than Kyle Murray, so I do like that. And then I love James Cook against the Miami Dolphins. I just think that's easy money right there. As long as they give him the ball, I think he should be great. As far as my sits, though, I got James Conner versus the 49ers. We all know how tough that it is to run against that defense. That defense is pretty healthy, so I would probably sit him. And then my surprise, I think I'm gonna sit Devon Achane against the Bills. I don't know, something about that matchup I just don't like with Devon Achane. I think if the Dolphins gonna have any chance to win that game, I think it has to be a Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle type of game. So yeah, those are my starts and sits this week.
I got Rome Odunze. Being my wide receiver for Chicago this year. They have not got the ball to DJ Moore. He's another guy. DJ Moore is another person that look out for him to be traded real soon. So 100%. So yeah, I will start Rome Odunze. I'm gonna start George Pickens, man. The Chicago Bears cornerbacks are trash. Not good.
Not good at all.
And I think George Pickens is gonna get his this week. I think they're gonna try to divulge a lot of attention to CD Lamb this week and try to double team him. Opportunities for George Pickens. We talked about him, Amika Abuke.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do some things. I know that we got the good corners in Saucon over there, but I think Sauce is going to be covering Mike Evans, so that's opportunities for Amika Abuke on the other side. And then my sits, Calvin Ridley. He is not going to do good against the Colts. I'm sorry. He's just not.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been playing well this year. And the offensive line is so bad that Cam Ward doesn't have time to throw to him. So,
Yeah.
Another one is Chris Olave against the Seahawks. Those corners are just too good, man. And I think Spencer Rattler is going to have a terrible game this week. So I'm going to roll with that. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Sure.
All right, man. Let's do our BetUS Sure Fire Picks. What you got?
So I got a little 4-pack here. I got the Colts -4 over the Titans. I just think this should be an easy bet. I think Cam Ward has no chance with that offensive line ahead of him. Even though Tony Pollard has, I think running back wise, he's actually performed pretty well. It's just, and that defense isn't bad as what people think. I just think they got an incompetent coach, and I think that alone should be a -4. I got the Raiders +3. I think Jaden Daniels will not play. This will hurt my fantasy team, but I don't think he's going to play. I think they might be cautious with them. I think deep down they might feel like they can probably beat us with Marcus Mariota, but I like the Raiders +3. I think our defense has been playing pretty damn good. Honestly, I've been truly surprised by how well our defense has played. Our offense has got to be better. Geno Smith has to throw the ball better, not throw idiotic balls, and we need more from Asher Jency and this offensive line for sure. Next up, I got the Patriots +1. I'm just not a believer in the Steelers team. I'm really not. You know what I mean? I know they had the game against the Jets, and we saw what the Jets did against the Buffalo Bills. I think the Patriots just have better players, and I'm gonna go with the Patriots. And then you're probably gonna be upset at me with this one. I'm taking the Giants +6. This is gonna be my surprise. The Giants +6. I think we see this defensive line get to Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying the Chiefs are gonna lose this game, but I think this defensive line is actually gonna show up. We saw Russ cook a little bit. We saw Malik Neighbors get into action. Tracy Jr., I think he'll have a good game. Being at home, night game. I think this D-line is going to put a little bit of pressure and keep this game close. I'm going to take the +6 with the Giants.
All right. I'm going to take the Colts -4 also over the Titans. I agree with you. I think this game's going to be a wash. I got the Rams money line over the Eagles. I think the Rams offense is going to put pressure on this Eagles offense, and I think this defensive line is going to give Jalen Hurts problems, and I think they're going to give Saquon problems too. So I'm gonna roll with the Rams, and I got the 49ers -2 over the Cardinals. I just think that even though the Cardinals are playing solid, I just think the 49ers defense is going to give Kyler Murray some issues. It's going to be close, but I do think they pull it out at the end and get that -2. Another bet, if y'all want to be risky, they got the Chiefs -1,500 or +1,500 Super Bowl. Put your money on them.
Good luck with that one.
And they got them +250 AFC West. Don't put your money on it.
What do you expect from a guy who has a Kansas City Chief country banner in the back? Like,
hey man, I'm trying to get y'all paid. All right, if you look at the screen, you'll see the QR code for the BetUS website. Go ahead and scan that. First time users only. Scan that, sign up, put all your information in, put the promo code JOIN125. You get 125% signing bonus plus 10% gamblers insurance. That's 3 risk-free bets on your first 3 bets on your first 3 deposits. on $100 up to $5,000. That means on your first 3 deposits, if you lose, you keep your money. So you can keep your money on your first 3 deposits, or you can win you some money. So go over to BetUS and tell them Chris Dallamall sent you. And that does it for our BetUS Sure Fire Picks.
Looks like somebody put something in the chat.
What they say?
Said just traded Lad for Brian Thomas Jr. 14-team full PPPR. He wants to know our thoughts.
Traded who?
He traded Lad. I'm assuming that's Lad McConkey for Brian Thomas Jr. Full PPR.
I don't know about that player. What's the name? Ain't been getting Brian Thomas Jr. the ball, but it's the first 2 weeks. But I don't know.
Yeah, talent wise, Brian Thomas Jr. I think he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of who you trust as far as in the quarterback. I think Lad is just consistent. I think he's probably more consistent just because of just the situation that he's in. But I'm not mad at it if you want to take that risk because Brian Thomas has a lot of big pop potential. It's just they got to find a way to get him the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think they've been looking at De'Ami Brown. I think they've been trying to figure out some stuff with Travis Hunter. You have some great young running backs that have been producing a lot, so they haven't really needed Brian Thomas Jr. But I think there's a great chance Brian Thomas Jr. is going to pop sooner or later. He's just too great of a talent. But Lad is tough, man. I like Lad. Lad will get a lot of reps, a lot of catches, and yardage and TDs. So I'm not mad though at the risk.
Yeah. High risk.
Just because of the quarterback. Not because of that. Yeah.
All right, it's time for Maul's favorite segment, Random News. It is now time for Maul's Random News. It is now time for Maul's Random News. All right, man. What's up?
Man, random news so special. I get the intro twice. Man, it doesn't happen too often. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Cris, man. You know, he dubbed that up. All right, first up. Are you ready, sir? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt Reeves says the villain in Batman 2 will be connected to Bruce Wayne's history and life. Quote, picking the right villain that digs into what that does, that sort of goes into his past and his life. That was what drove the discussion. I won't tell you where we ended up, but we're super excited about it. And I would say it's never really been done in a movie before. That quote has been getting a lot of Batman fans kind of guessing who the villain will be. What do you think? Who do you think will be the villain in the new Batman 2? And what are your thoughts with Matt Reeves' quote right there?
I think it's going to be Hush. Something never done before. So Hush. That's what I think it is. He's directly linked to his past. He was friends with Bruce. His family was friends. They were friends, you know, with the parents and all that. And then he lost all his parents, lost everything. And he directly blamed the Wayne family for that. So,
yeah. All right, for sure. Next up, we'll get a little into it. The big news over the last couple of hours is that ABC has decided to pull Jimmy Kimmel due to some comments he made about obviously Charlie Kirk. That's been a big conversation. He made some comments on his show, I think maybe earlier this week or last week or something like that. Hours leading up. In the hours leading up to the decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, two sources familiar with the matter say senior executives at ABC, its owner Disney, and affiliates convened emergency meetings to figure out how to minimize the damage. Multiple execs felt that Kimmel had not actually said anything over the line, the two sources say, but the threat of the Trump administration and retaliation has loomed. It's been sparking a lot of conversation about freedom of speech and all that stuff like that. I know we're not going to get too political on this show, but it is a big topic. I do want to get your thoughts about this. Do you agree, disagree with Jimmy Kimmel getting pulled from ABC?
What did he say?
Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find the thing. All right, here. I'll play it for you, and you tell me which.
Over the weekend, with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have used tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, he was dead. Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, Mm-hmm. And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with them. There really is. I mean,
So that's pretty much what he said. Again, I said we're not going to get too political. That's not what we do. We try to get the escapism of everything right there. But this is an important topic with what's going on. What are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree with ABC pulling Jimmy Kimmel show?
I disagree because it had nothing to do with going at Charlie Kirk. It had everything to do with showing how Trump really doesn't. He don't care. He was so busy worried about them, fixing the construction of whatever that he was talking about. And, even when they told him, oh, he's dead. What do you mean he's dead? Trump just, I don't know, Trump being Trump. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that was BS. If that's why they pulled him, it was right what they said because of the Trump administration. Probably put some heat on them, on Disney and all them, ABC and all them, and they pulled them because of that. It had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, the owner of ABC, Sinclair, has also stated that Jimmy Kimmel will be out indefinitely until he makes an apology to the Kirk family, donates to the Kirk Foundation, and so forth and so forth. So just that right there. But, I'm sure there'll be more conversations about that, and I'm sure there's better outlets for that conversation. Next up, Manny Pacquiao may be returning in December for a PBC pay-per-view with Rolly Romero as the front runner for that fight. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit before. It was kind of like a little bit of rumor that this may happen. But just to get your thoughts again, what would your thoughts be about this Pacquiao versus Romero fight if it happens, and who would you have as the favorite going into that fight?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, you know how I feel about Rolly. I think Rolly, he's okay. He's not good to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he has a punching power. And that's one thing he does have. And an older Manny Pacquiao can get caught by Rolly.
Yeah.
So he would have to be very cautious fighting Rolly because Rolly can catch him and knock him out. So I give Rolly a puncher's chance to win this fight, and he's the younger guy. So I wouldn't be mad if Rolly was the favorite, but because Manny's the name, they'll probably make him the favorite. But I don't know. It would be a difficult fight to kind of manage. I know Manny looked solid against Mario Barros, and there's a reason why he picked Mario Barros. So
yeah.
But I might, because Manny had the age that he is, I would go Rolly.
Yeah, I honestly would be intrigued by this fight, just by the Like there'll be a lot of punches thrown in this fight. I'll just say
Mhm.
that. It'll definitely be a intriguing fight. Next up, your boy Bret Hart, man. You know, he just can't stop talking. You know what I mean? He's going at everybody right now.
Mhm.
But in one quote, he said Bret Hart says that there is not a single Triple H match that he would consider as great. Do you agree, disagree? And if you do agree, what would be the Triple H match that you would consider to be in the great
Um,
category?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, coming off the top of my head, I mean, he's had some good matches with Shawn Michaels. He's had great matches with The Rock. He's had good matches with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker. He's had some great matches with them. He's had great matches before. I'm not gonna do that to Triple H. Triple H is a legend. He's one of the best heels to ever, in wrestling history. So that's just my opinion. As far as Bret Hart goes, man, Bret Hart is one of my favorite wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, he was my guy. Um, and it's unfortunate what happened to his career with the Montreal Screwjob and what happened to him in WCW with the Goldberg situation. But my man, he gotta get over that shit. Like
Yeah.
he is very bitter. And I know that he had issues with Sean. He had issues with Triple H back in the day because, they were clicked up and it was, talked about how Shawn Michaels was a hole in the back, and Triple H, he was just kind of the sidekick, so he's going to be guilty by association. But reality is,
Yeah.
Triple H he was actually the voice of reason out of the two. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think he gets paid because he's married to Stephanie McMahon, so he's looked at as the golden goose for Vince McMahon or whatever. But I just think Bret Hart, he got to get over his bitterness towards the past. Let it go. Like it's over. We still look at you as a legend. They didn't take away from your legacy. You're still one of the greatest wrestlers to ever wrestle in this game. And just let it go, bro.
What are your thoughts with WrestlePalooza this Saturday? You got any quick thoughts about it?
That's a good card. I'm interested in Io Sky versus Stephanie Van Kier. I'm interested in the AJ Lee. It's good to see AJ Lee back in the ring. Her and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch should be a good match. It's probably going to be a lot of animated stuff. Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes should be a good match. I forgot who else was on that card, but it should be a good card. But it's gonna be predictable. Everybody who you think is gonna win is gonna win.
Yeah. Next up, Ben and Jerry's co-founder Jerry Greinfeld has resigned after 47 years, claiming their parent company, Unilever, or I think that's how you say it, has silenced the brand's political activism, which has included speaking out in support of Gaza and human rights. A lot of people have, backed Ben and Jerry's because, a lot of stuff that they've said have been, for the better of humanity. What are your thoughts with this? Do you think this could change the brand of Ben and Jerry's forever with Jerry resigning?
I haven't had Ben and Jerry's in a long time.
Ben and Jerry's is still good. I haven't had it in a while, but it's still good.
Yeah. You said, do I think it's gonna be the ending of it?
Like, do you think the reputation of Ben and Jerry's will change with him being gone?
I mean, I'm sure they'll change some stuff. They always change the flavors or whatever, a recipe or whatever, and it might not be as good. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
All right, next up, Dexter was planned to be expanded into a universe with multiple spin-off shows. Seems like those plans seem to have been scaled back after the Paramount and Skydance merger. What are your thoughts with that? Were you a Dexter fan? And would you be interested in if they did spin-off shows based on that show?
I mean, I watched the first season. I didn't finish it. I gotta finish it. I haven't seen it in a long time. But I mean, I get the allure of the show. It's a great concept. You know what I'm saying? A serial killer who kills serial killers. Like that's different. You know what I'm saying? So, but I haven't watched anything past the first season. So, but I get them doing spinoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, speaking of WrestlePalooza, we all know WrestlePalooza will be on the new ESPN All In app. But it seems like there might be some people who still may have to pay to watch WrestlePalooza. It seems like all some of the major distributors like Comcast and YouTube TV, which combined for over 20 million subscribers, are still on the outside looking in when it comes to having full access to the exclusive live programming being housed on the new ESPN app. And with the first major app exclusive live event coming this Saturday, WWE's WrestlePalooza, the confusion will be at an all-time high. According to JT Lasker, as Senior Vice President of Direct to Consumer at ESPN, it will stay that way through this weekend. Accessibility for people who have YouTube TV, Comcast, and other affiliates. If you do have ESPN, you still will have to pay to have access to WrestlePalooza. What are your thoughts? Do you think ESPN fumbled the ball with this, or do you not care?
No, they fumbled. I mean, we could have paid $9.99 and get all the pay-per-views that we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to pay a pay-per-view price.
Yeah,
that's whack.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it wrestling though. I thought this was an intriguing thing. I definitely want to get your thoughts. They did announce that the next WrestleMania after Las Vegas next year will be going to Riyadh. A lot of people seem to you had the crowd. I think they announced it. A lot of people in the crowd were saying WWE sold out. A lot of WWE fans are not excited about that. I even saw one guy who kind of predicted that maybe it might just be a Riyadh season and a Las Vegas joint, that they may not see it anywhere else because they just can't bid for it. At this point, it's just who can bid the highest and they will get WrestleMania. I forgot how much they got, like 50 some million or whatever the case may have been. But anyways, what are your thoughts with them announcing that WrestleMania will be outside the United States for the first time after Las Vegas in 2 years?
I don't know why anybody's surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Vince has been sold to, when he was there, he's been sold out to Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So that is nothing new. They got money over there and they gonna take it. And my only gripe with this is, of course, some of the stances they have towards women, and it's gotten a little bit better over there with the women and situation like that. But the crowds be trash over there, man.
Yeah, no, they do. We talk about it with the boxing and UFC events. They be the interaction be terrible. Yeah,
they just be just as bad in wrestling. Them crowds be terrible. The best crowds are London, because they be all in it.
Yeah, the European crowds are amazing. Yeah,
all the UK crowds, and then in the States, you got Philly. Philly has a good crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? New York has a pretty
good crowd. Yeah.
I thought Vegas wasn't good. We weren't good. No.
It's translucent.
Yeah.
I think some of the Canadian crowds are pretty good.
Yeah,
like Vancouver,
yeah,
Toronto.
Yeah, all of those crowds are good.
Buffalo. I think Buffalo is a really, really good town for wrestling.
LA wasn't good. But yeah, there's a few crowds out there. But yeah, I'm sorry, respectfully, Saudi Arabia, you're not a good crowd.
And one more
money, y'all don't appreciate nothing.
No, they don't. I wish I had your bread though. I really do. Yo, Turk, holla at us. I will go out there for sure. Keeping wrestling real quick. There are some people who think this is gonna be the downfall of WWE. Some even quote that in the next 10 years they might make a documentary of this being the starting point of this being the downfall of WWE. I even heard some people even kind of suggesting maybe AEW should do a big event at the same time as that WrestleMania. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I heard Bubba Ray say that. He said that they should do an event. I think he said do one in Saudi Arabia or something like that. But I mean, people look. Regardless of what AEW does, if you don't like AEW, you ain't gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. I have a group chat, and in that group chat, all they do is hate AEW. They post all the bad stuff about AEW. All the matches are bad. All the wrestling's terrible. The storylines are trash. Whatever. It is tribal when it comes to wrestling. Either you like wrestling and you watch both or all the wrestling companies, New Japan, TNA, MLW, or you are just a WWE fan.
Yeah.
There is no in between.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And they think in WWE? Got they know WWE fans, strictly WWE fans, have they nose in the air and they pinkies in the air, and when they look at other wrestling, oh, that's trash. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. For sure. Next up, man, seems like there are whispers that LeBron James wants to play with his other son, Bryson James, too. Bryce is eligible for the 2026 NBA draft. What are your thoughts on that? Or do you think my man should just go ahead and retire?
Retire, man. I don't want to see this shit again, dog.
Yeah.
You got with Bronny. Damn. Now
Yeah.
you gonna force the Lakers or whatever team you go to draft Bryce? He better be good.
Yeah.
He better not be averaging no 3.5 points a game or shit like that. No.
Right.
I want to see if you gonna team up with the other one. Bryce better be out here balling.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. If LeBron can still go and Bryce can go, then yeah, let's watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't want to see that shit again.
Yeah, just get off my Lakers team, bro. Respectfully, dog. Next up, Baxter Holmes, ex LA Times writer and a writer for ESPN, wrote a column about the LA Clippers potentially being ready to move on from Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard has, been in the news for some stuff involving Aspiration, a company that went down for wire fraud and him potentially getting a no show pay job to circumvent the salary cap. He wrote that Kawhi Leonard's uncle, Dennis Robinson, reportedly wanted the Lakers to give him part ownership of the team, access to a private plane, a house, and a guaranteed off-court endorsement money per Baxter. Quote, acquiring George was one of several requests made by Leonard and his camp, led by Leonard's uncle, Dennis Robertson, who outlined a series of asks for the Clippers in the days leading up to July 5th. Those requests included part ownership of the team, access to a private jet, a house, a guaranteed off-court endorsement money. One source with direct knowledge of all tasks said they were all the same requests that, according to The Athletic, Robertson made of the Lakers and the Raptors. With this new news, how does this make Kawhi Leonard? How does this make the Clippers look? Does this make them look even more guilty? And what do you think the outcome will be when this investigation that the NBA does? What do you think the outcome will be?
I think Kawhi Leonard's going to get suspended. And I think Steve Ballmer might have to give up the Clippers.
They're going to lose draft picks. They're going to lose draft picks. Yeah. They're going to lose draft picks. But yeah, it's not looking good at all. And then
crazy because that's a second owner for the Clippers that gave up the team.
Yeah, and Pablo Torre also has some new information, I think, last week, where another part owner also invested money into Aspiration, and then I think Kawhi Leonard and his camp were requesting, because they weren't getting paid from Aspiration, about $1.75 million or something like that. The co-owner deposited $1.9 million into Aspiration, and then he got paid about 9 days later. So still doesn't look good. All right, man. I got about let's see how many more I got. I got two more. Shakur Stevenson, has urged Terrence Crawford to retire after being Canelo. Quote, I said, I don't want to see him fight no more. Me being his brother, I don't want to see it. I think he's done everything in the sport. There's nothing else for him to do. He said that on the Ariel Helwani podcast show. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with Shakur Stevenson? Do you think Terrence Crawford should hang it up after that amazing performance he did against Canelo?
I would say I wouldn't be mad at him if he retires. He beat everybody he needed to beat. He beat Errol Spence Jr. He beat Canelo Alvarez. Like, he beat Sean Porter. Like, he's beat some guys. So, and I don't know, unless he wants to go down to 160 and conquer that division and become undisputed under there, then, cool. But outside of that, I don't want him to fight nobody else in 168.
Yeah.
Nobody. Them boys is bigger than Canelo.
Nah, facts. Nah, on me, for real. Actually, I got a couple more, not just one more. We'll make it quick though. Next up, Jeezy announces a Las Vegas residency. He's transforming the TM 101 live experience into a masquerade for Halloween and the Nutcracker for Christmas. He's also bringing along 101 piece orchestra, a larger ensemble than the tour that he had. What are your thoughts with this Jeezy tour? Are you going to go? Are you going to get suited and booted?
I'm in the building. November
Yeah.
1st. I already told wifey we going. I went to Fantasia. You coming to Young Jeezy?
You coming to Young Jeezy? Yeah. I'm gonna be there. I'm not missing this Jeezy concert. I think tickets go on sale tomorrow.
Friday. Yeah.
So either I think pre-sales tomorrow and then open
No, the
to
pre-sale
the public.
was already happened. Tomorrow's the sale.
Oh, so tomorrow's open to the public. Yeah. So tomorrow's open to the public. Hopefully tickets aren't crazy, but I will find my way into that building for sure.
What I saw, it was like it was some 800 and 600 tickets, but I'm sure they'll go down for.
Yeah, I'm sure that with the hype and all that, I'm sure it will. So I take it you're gonna go to the Halloween or the Nutcracker version?
Nutcracker, November 1st.
Okay, Nutcracker version. All right, for sure. Next up, I wanted to talk about this Dame Dash, but I think we'll save it for Monday. I thought that I don't know if you've seen the interview between him and
I saw
Charlamagne.
clips.
But we'll save that for Monday. We'll save that for Monday. Next up, Molly Quorum unexpectedly left ESPN. She put in her resignation, I believe, I want to say Tuesday or Monday night. Stephen A. Smith even announced it. She left ESPN. There were reports that she wasn't going to leave until the end of the year, but she put in her resignation a lot earlier than expected. What is your thoughts, and what do you think was the cause for Molly Quorum to just up and quit?
It has to be money. I would assume it's money, unless there's some allegations that's about to come out. But outside of that, I just think it's going to be money. I think that she didn't like that what they was trying to give her. She's been there she's put her time in, even though sometimes I don't care for Molly Quorum, but I can't deny it. She's been there. She's put her time in, and she deserves whatever, she feel like she deserves because she put the work in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would never deny a person of that. But I just think it was a contract dispute, and they weren't budging. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, but I'll wait to the end. But I just think that after a while, I think she was just like, I don't even want to be here. Like, they don't even want to pay me what I want to get paid, and I don't have the passion for this anymore. I'm burnt, and it might be a little bit I'm burnt out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little burnt out. So, good luck to her in her next endeavors. I'm sure she'll get a job somewhere else. So, shout out to her.
Yeah, now shout out to her. I'm sure we'll figure out. I'm sure she'll tell us one day what really happened and why she up and quit. And then when she tells us, I'm sure we'll all be ears open and listen to that. All right, man. This is really going to be the last one. The 2025 WNBA regular season was the most watched on ESPN networks ever, reported by ESPN, with an average of 1.3 million viewers across 25 games, up 6% from last season. This is even due with Caitlin Clark not even playing for majority of the season. So what are your thoughts with this news, with the WNBA getting more eyes, and do you think this will help with contract talks with them and the CBA?
It can't hurt. Now here's the thing about the contract talks, ladies, I'm not trying to discount you. I'm not trying to go after for what you're worth. And maybe you're all trying to hit high so y'all can get the number y'all really want. Maybe that's what y'all doing. But this whole talk that y'all deserve NBA money, y'all gotta relax. You gotta build that up. Gotta crawl. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're still not bringing in the viewership like NBA is bringing in. You're climbing, you're building. People want to watch y'all. Y'all are highly competitive on a night in, night out basis. Now there are some bad teams like Chicago Sky and Washington and all them, and not even so much bad. They just you can see the pieces formulating and all that, but
no, they're bad. They're bad. They're
bad. But you are building. You got Toronto coming next year. You got Portland coming next year. But the CBA is coming up. I do think that the ladies do need a pay raise, but the whole we want to pay us like the NBA, LeBron, like nah, y'all not getting that. But if y'all do need a pay raise, I do agree with that.
Before we move on, do you think the WNBA has more players that people are more invested into than the NBA?
No. I think that most casual watchers, if you listen to them, and I'm not saying that there's not WNBA fans out there. There are. I see it on my timeline every day. But I do think there's a lot of more casuals who watch because of Kayla Clark. Let's just keep it real. Like they do watch it for her. They think she's the best player, which okay, whatever. But I do think it might be a mixed bag. But I don't think that there's as much as I love Asia Wilson, there are still people do not know who Asia Wilson is.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? There's people that don't know who Nafisha Collier is.
That's true.
Speaking of WNBA, hey, what's her name from the Lynx the other day?
You talking about? Oh, you talking about the one that dressed up?
Natasha Him.
Yeah.
Come on over to the other side, baby. Just come to the other side, girl.
That ain't happening, dog. That ain't happening, man.
Come to the other side, baby. Just come to the other side.
She looked good though. She looked good. She looked amazing. She killed it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that probably hit her in the DMs. I'm sure there's some studs that probably hit her in the DMs as well. So
Courtney Williams is looking at her.
I thought they were dating me personally. Maybe they're just friends, but I thought they were dating or something. But nah, she looked amazing. She killed it. She put on the DeJounte Carrington wig on and stuff like that. So she killed it. You know, maybe she should switch up. You know what I mean? Maybe she should do the switch up. I don't know.
She did a lot. She said she'll never do that.
Yeah, most likely she'll probably never do it. But you never say never. Never say never. But either way, I think she killed the look. She looked amazing.
She did.
Outside.
Actually, I want to add two things for the random news because I want to get your opinion on this. Two things.
For sure.
Did you see the Adrian Broner thing?
With Cameron? I did see that. I did.
How did you feel about it?
I commend Cameron because I think in that situation, I think you put that young lady in a weird predicament, especially with her boyfriend being there. And then on top of that, you could tell he was kind of drunk. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then we all know the battles that Adrian Broner has had with substance abuse and all that. I think Cam was trying to look out for the best interest for both parties, but you could tell Cameron was pretty irritated by the situation, especially I think when Adrian Broner kept trying to talk to him through the glass, and that's when he kind of said the whole junkie and all that type of stuff and like that. But I just thought he was trying to do the best for his partner in crime on the show, and not put her in a weird spot. And you got to commend Cameron for doing that. He did a real true solid, real true homie, like big brother type of stuff, and protecting her and protecting her relationship and being respectful for the man that she had there in the same room. So and then he I'm sure he didn't want Adrian Broner to embarrass himself, but at the end of the day, you could tell the irritable ways that Cameron felt, and Mace just stayed quiet.
Yeah, I agree with you. I commend what Cameron did and all that stuff. I didn't like him saying he's a junkie.
I hear you on that, but you could tell the irritable because I don't know what was being said. I don't know what Adrian Broner was doing. I don't know. Maybe he just kept doing something. He could have been trying to lick the glass or something and still trying to holler at her. And he was just like, I'm over it. I try to be respectful. I still paid you the money for your time. I was very respectable. I wasn't like I was being the asshole about the situation, but yet you're continuously trying to either make eye connection with this girl, make her feel uncomfortable, then that's when we're gonna have a problem. So it could have been a situation like that.
Yeah. And then the last thing, I heard this story this morning. I don't know if you remember Publishing Clearinghousing.
Oh, is that the one where you thought you can win like a check or something?
Ed
like
McMahon used to show up to your house
and
all that stuff. So they filed for bankruptcy.
Okay.
Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and a company called a gaming platform called ARB Interactive purchased it for $7.1 million and established PCH Digital, a new platform that the terms of that deal, but under with new platform that hosts sweepstakes opportunities, but under the terms of that deal, ARB says it is not responsible to pay out prize issues by PCH prior to July 15th. So all those people that was getting 200,000 a year or 500,000 a week, that shit is cut off.
Damn.
And I'm talking about people been getting it for 13, 14 years.
That's why you take the lump. That's why you take the lump.
But you can't take the lump. You have to take the 500,000 a week or something like that.
Oh, through publishing,
or you have to take like a 200,000. Like if you got $5.5 million, you got to just take yearly, or you got to take it weekly. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like the lottery where you could just take the lump sum.
Okay.
So yeah, and this dude, this one dude's like 60 something years old. He said he gotta sell some stuff off because they cutting his payments off.
Yeah, no, that sucks, man. Like, hopefully, those people who were getting that money saved up a good portion of it. They didn't spend it all, but a lot of people, when you get that kind of money for the first time, you get kind of happy spending it, and especially when you have the assumption where you have like 3 years, 4 years left, you may be like, yo, maybe I can like F around the first year or two, because I know I still have like 5 or 6 or 7 years left, but unexpectedly you get your payments cut off. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think they should find a way to still give these people this money that they rightfully earned, rightfully won. Whether it's sue, try to get the money. I think obviously I would expect a lot of lawsuits out of this, because you won something, you were expecting to get paid, and all of a sudden they can't do it. So they should make it right. They should make it right. I don't know, about the company that bought them, but that's something to keep an eye on. But hey, gotta be financially smart, man. I get it. When you get that kind of lump, it's easy to spend that, but you just never know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's do our NFL Week 3 predictions and previews. Cue the music. Man. All right, tomorrow we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills. We all know that the Dolphins are desperate for a win, and they lost a tough one last week to the New England Patriots, and here they are in another divisional game about to face the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills coming off of 2 good wins, one to the Ravens, which they probably should have lost, and then to the Jets, they smoked them. So they, beat a division rivalry themselves. How are you feeling about this game, sir?
Honestly, I think this game is going to be interesting. I think the Dolphins offense looked like it was clicking a little bit. Obviously, the Bills are going to be missing some key pieces, but I still don't trust Tua going to Buffalo and winning this game, especially on a Thursday night. Unless, Tyreek Hill just kind of goes off, with some, quick screens, and Devon Achane goes off and they get some key stops. But I'm gonna take the Bills, man. I think the Bills win this game, and I can see this being like a 28-17 type of game.
For sure. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to the Minnesota Vikings. We all know that Joe Burrow is out for the season, and the Vikings, JJ McCarthy is out for this game, so we're getting Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. Oh, and my bad. I got the Buffalo Bills winning. I think James Cook's gonna run over them and smash them. I got them winning 35-24.
Okay. This game, I wouldn't be surprised if Carson Wentz balls out. I really wouldn't. I think this offense could look. I know Carson. We haven't seen it from Carson Wentz, but Kevin O'Connell is like I think he's a great QB coach. You know what I mean? And I think he'll put Carson Wentz in the best position. Like he has talent around him. Like obviously Justin Jefferson. They will get Joe Addison back. I love. Obviously they won't have Aaron Jones, but they still have Jordan Mason and stuff like that. But I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings, man. I think they bounce back. I think they get the win. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is a high-scoring win. I know the over-under is, I think, around 40, 41 or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it went over. Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings. Let's go 24-23.
I hate to do this, but I'm picking the Bengals in this game. I just, I don't know about Carson Wentz, man. Maybe he gets some of that, whatever. But I'll take Jake Brown, and he's gonna give Jamar Chase about 20 targets. I think Chase Brown gets involved. I think Trey Hendrickson gets a couple sacks, and I got the Bengals winning 28-21.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to the New England Patriots. Steelers are coming off a tough loss themselves. Who did they play last week? Seattle?
Yeah, they lost to Seattle.
Yeah, 31-17. And the Patriots, they're coming off of a tough nail-biting win over the Miami Dolphins. Honestly, I don't know who's going to win this game. I'm going to be real with you. But I'm going to go with AA Ron. I know I shouldn't trust him, but I don't trust Drake, man. I just don't. I will, and no Christian Gonzalez. He's going to be out for this game, too. So,
I thought he was practicing. I thought he practiced today.
They said his hamstring's messing with him again. So I'm going to roll with the Steelers in an ugly game, 21-17.
I'm taking the Patriots at home. I don't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers running game. I don't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Only person I trust on that defense is Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey has played amazing, even with everything that's going on. It's pretty much DK Metcalf or bust. Jalen Warren, he's a good running back, but he's not an every down back. Caleb Johnson, he's looked like he's just gonna sit the pine. Like he ain't even gonna be returning kicks from what Mike Tomlin said with that. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I just trust the assets that they have. I trust Stephon Diggs, and congratulations to him. Him and Cardi having the baby and stuff like that. So maybe he might ball out. Trevion Henderson. You still got Ramondre Stevenson, and even without Christian Gonzalez, I think that defense is still decent. I like that defense better than the Steelers. So I'm gonna go Patriots. I could see it being a gritty game. I could see it being like let's go 19-14.
You got the Colts traveling to Tennessee in an AFC South rivalry. Colts have looked pretty good these past two games. Titans not so much. I just think the Colts are the better team. They should win. It might be close for a little bit because of that whole division rivalry thing, but I just think that the Colts are going to do enough and pull away in the second half. I got the Colts winning 28-20.
I think this is going to be a dominant performance. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to run all over this team. I think this is not an indictment on Cam Ward. I think this is more an indictment on that coaching staff. Even the defense. I just think the coaching staff is just terrible. I don't think this is going to be a close game. I think I got this game going to be 31-13.
You got the Houston Texans coming off a tough loss to the Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who came off a tough loss to the Bengals. Both offenses have not played particularly well, but the defenses have been solid. But I'm going to go with the Texans in this. I think Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and them and Derek Stingley is going to give Jacksonville a little bit of problems. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to throw a couple picks. And I think C.J. Stroud is going to have a solid game with Nico Collins in the game. I think Nick Chubb's getting his legs up under him too. And I like Woody Marks too. So I'm going to roll with the Houston Texans. I'm going to go with a score of – I'm going to go 24-21.
Yeah, man. Honestly, both of these teams you just can't trust. I think out of all the units I like the most, I like the Houston Texans defense the most out of any of the units that's going to be performing on this field on that Sunday. But I like the talent that the Jacksonville Jaguars have. I love the talent that the Jacksonville Jaguars have, especially on that offensive side. Tootin, I think Travis Etienne's been playing really good. Obviously, you got Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr. I think the running game for the Texans is still inconsistent. I think the offensive line is still inconsistent. I'm gonna go with the Texans. I don't have a lot of faith, but this is a must-win for them. They have to win this game. They can't go down 0-3. They cannot be 0-3 going into week 4. So I'm gonna go with the Texans. I think they win. I'm gonna go. Let's go 27-23.
The Atlanta Falcons traveled to Carolina to face the Panthers. The Panthers first week 1 didn't look too good. Last week they showed a little bit of energy in the second half and almost beat the Arizona Cardinals. Falcons, they didn't have to do too much. Bijan Robinson ran all over the Vikings, and JJ McCarthy was bad. I know I picked this team to go to the damn playoffs this year, but until they show me something different, I can't pick the Panthers to win this game. You can't have Bryce Young throwing 55 times and not get Chuba Herbert. You got to get Chuba Herbert involved. I do expect him to get some resemblance of a running game, and maybe that'll help out Bryce Young. But until I see it, I'm going with the Falcons. I think they win. I think Bijan Robinson has a good game. I think Tyler Algier has a good game. I think Drake London and Darnell Mooney have a pretty solid game. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I don't know. I'll go 20-14.
Yeah, I've been a big proponent for Bryce Young. I root for that young man. But yeah, so far I have not been impressed. I feel like this team has regressed. I think a lot of that has to do with them getting rid of Adam Thielen. I just think that took a little bit of the mojo. I think he had a comfortability level with Adam Thielen. They haven't been trying to run the ball at all. I'm gonna go with the Falcons as well. I just think they just are the better team. Bijan Robinson. I think even Kyle Pitts, he hasn't put up big numbers, but I think he's been more relevant than he has in most of the years that he's been in the league so far. And I expect a bounce back game from Michael Penix. Even though they won that game, they didn't really play the best against the Minnesota Vikings. But I'm gonna go with them. And I'm gonna go. Let's go 24-21.
You got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. Both of them coming off of good wins. Like I said before, if the Eagles do not get this offense rolling, then this could be kind of ugly. If the Rams get Devontae and Puka Nacua going and Kyron Williams going, I'm picking the Rams to win this game. I got the Rams winning. I'm gonna go 31-28.
I'm not mad at you. I just think the Los Angeles Rams match up really well against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they really do. I think they gave them their toughest matchup all playoffs last year. They probably easily could have lost if a ball went the Rams' way. But with the addition of Devontae Adams, Tyler Higbee being a little bit more healthier, that defensive line being a little bit more experienced, Sean McVay being the head coach, and then obviously all the performance issues that the Eagles have been having. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the focus has been on this tush push thing, which I think has gotten a lot more excessive. But this seems like the week where if we're gonna get an AJ Brown being mad situation, this is gonna be the week. So do I expect that? I do. And I'm not saying this is gonna be the end of the Eagles. I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll be fine. But I just think the Philadelphia Eagles aren't going to win this game. I love the matchup with the Rams. I agree with you. I got them winning 28-27.
You got the New York Jets traveling to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs coming off of a last-minute win over the Houston Texans. Jets got demolished, and Justin Fields is in concussion protocol, so he will not be playing. It will be Tyrod Taylor. This can go two ways. The Buccaneers can blow their asses out, or Tyrod Taylor will keep them more stabilized enough to where this game will be competitive. I'm gonna go on the latter. I think Tyrod Taylor will have them competitive, but I'm still gonna go with the Buccaneers. I think they win this game. I think it's gonna be closer than what people think, because I think that defensive line is gonna get after this offensive line, because I think Tristan Wirth isn't ready yet, so I don't know if he's even gonna play this week. But I do think that Baker's gonna he's gonna be running for his life a little bit. So I think Bucky Irvin's gonna have a solid game. But I think Breece Hall bounced back. I think he has a good game. I think Garrett Wilson has a touchdown. And I'm gonna go Jets 24-23.
I think the Bucs are just a better team. I don't think this is going to be close. I respect Tyrod Taylor, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and all those guys, but this team is just too good. Like, Sauce Gardner can't guard all three of these receivers. And then I don't know what the percentage is for Tristan Wirfs to get back, but if he's even able to come back, I think that's just none but a plus. It gives Baker Mayfield more time. This is their first home game, so you know that crowd is going to be hella amped, hella juiced. I don't think it's going to be close. I got this being a 35-17 game.
I'm not mad at that. Your Raiders travel to Washington to face the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is not playing. Marcus Mariota will be playing. The Raiders did offensively. You guys did not look good. Defensively, you guys have something going there. I think this is going to be an ugly game. I really do. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game. But I do have y'all pulling it out. I got y'all winning 20-17.
I like that, man. Honestly, this is going to be really big for us. You know what I mean? This is really going to check us to see how much we are changing our culture. This is one of these games where you go into, and this game we get blown out by the first quarter and it's over. You know what I mean? That's the expectation that most Raider fans have. When we play on the East Coast, it never goes our way. So, you know, we had the one instance with the New England Patriots. We performed well, cool. We had the bad performance at home. Let's see if we can be the Road Warriors that we were in week one, especially with the loss of Jaden Daniels. I think that's huge. I think our defense has been playing pretty well. We need to find a way to get Genty. I think Genty has even hinted at wanting to get into Baltimore. Not a lot of people have been clamoring for him to be getting more touches. So we'll see. I think we'll get that. I think we'll get a better Geno game. We can't get a worse Geno game than what we got. You know what I mean? I don't want to jinx myself, but it can't get that much worse. Like, that was a bad game. So I think we'll do that. Brock Bowers, I think he'll get a couple big catches. I think our defense, Max Crosby, will get a couple key stops, and I think we'll win. Let's go 23-17.
You got the Packers traveling to Cleveland to face the Browns. I don't know if Joe Flacco is playing in this game because he got pulled for Dylan Gabriel. But let's just say Joe Flacco keeps his job. I got the Packers winning, man. I think that defensive line is going to get after whoever the quarterback is. I know that the Cleveland Browns defense is really good, and they can get after it too. But I just think it's not going to be enough. And I got the Packers winning 35-17.
Yeah, the only chance that the Browns have is if Myles Garrett gets like 3 or 4 sacks in this game. You know what I mean? And then maybe Quinshon Judkins goes off. I think that's the aspect. This might be the game where you might want to just chill Joe Flacco, because with Michael Parsons and Rashawn Gary, I don't think that would be a good look. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't think you want to throw in those rookies going up against those guys either. So I think it'll be a bad look. So I do expect Joe Flacco to play. Again, I got the Packers. I don't think it'll be close. Let's go 33-14.
You got the Broncos traveling to LA to face the Chargers. Broncos coming off of a tough loss. They probably should have won that game against the Colts if they didn't commit that stupid penalty. Chargers beating your Raiders. They looked okay. They did enough to win the game, and Geno turnovers gave them short fields. I don't know if I'm gonna do this, man, but I think I'm gonna take the Broncos, man. I think that defensive line is gonna get after Herbert. I think I don't know. Is Patrick Surtain playing?
I don't know. I gotta see.
If he is playing, then I think he makes life horrible for Keenan Allen. I think that defensive line is going to do enough. I think R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins is going to control the clock, run the football, let Bo Nix do a lot of play action pass. Cortland Sutherland probably get a couple touchdowns, maybe Marvin Mims. But I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'm going 35-28 Broncos.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers, man. I just think like this early in the season, it just seems like they're the destined team to win. You know what I mean? As far as like this early in the season, it seems like everything's going their way. The bounces, the interceptions, the turnovers, the play. Obviously, the big loss with Khalil Mack, I think that will hurt them, especially on that defensive side, putting pressure on Bo Nix. But then again, I feel like Bo Nix, he looked decent last game, but still hasn't been the Bo Nix that we saw last year. I do love J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins has performed really well on the offense. I just still don't trust the receivers. I know Troy Franklin had a really decent game last week. Very explosive player, but the receivers of the Chargers, I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with Justin Herbert. I have a little bit more faith with Harbaugh as a coach more than Sean Payton, and they're gonna be at home. I know there'll probably be a lot of Denver Broncos fans there, but I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go. Let's go 28-24.
The New Orleans Saints travel to Seattle to face the Seahawks. Saints coming off of 2 close losses, one to San Francisco, one to Atlanta. The Seahawks, they came off of a big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think Seahawks are the better team. They're in Seattle. It's hard to win in Seattle. The 12s are going to be out. It's going to be loud. I think Spencer Rattler's going to have a couple of interceptions. And I got the Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold's going to have a pretty good game. I think Kenneth Walker, he looked like Kenneth Walker last week. Charbonnet, I think he'll get some stuff. JSN has been balling. So I'm going to go Seattle winning 28-17.
Everything you said is correct. But in the back of my head, this seems like this is the Seahawks game where they play like they shouldn't play. They're going to be inconsistent on offense. Sam Darnold's going to throw a couple picks, and the Saints are going to find a way to win this game. But I'm going to go with your instinct. I think the Seahawks should win. I know they're the better team, but I would not be surprised if the Seahawks lay the egg. That's just been kind of the Seahawks way as of the last couple of years. But I'm going to roll to Seahawks. I'm going to go with let's go 27-21.
You got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the 49ers. There are speculations that maybe Brock Purdy will play this week, but if not, I think Mac Jones still will hold it down enough. I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals here. I know I've been talking trash about them, but I think the Cardinals have been playing pretty well. They played a lot better last week for sure. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a pretty solid game with his legs. I think he's going to give the defense problem with his legs, not so much his arm. And I think the running game is going to be solid too with Trey Benson and James Conner. I think it's going to be a close game, but I got the Cardinals winning. I'm going to go 24-21.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. I just trust that defense more than anything else. I think Robert Saleh has that defense playing like the Niner defense that we expect. Even if it's not Brock Purdy, I think Mac Jones can come in and win this game. It's just something about the Cardinals. Even though they're 2-0, they haven't been really impressive. And then I feel like their running game has been inconsistent. I think them trying to feed the ball to Marvin Harrison has been inconsistent. So I'm gonna go with the Niners. I'm gonna go with a low scoring game. I'm gonna go. Let's go 17-13.
And you got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Chicago Bears. Bears coming off of a bad loss to the Lions. Cowboys coming off of a big win over the Giants, with Aubrey kicking the game-winning field goal. I think the defense could be had for Cowboys. And I honestly, from week 1 to week 2, you did see improvement from Caleb Williams. You really did. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I think they got embarrassed last week. I think Ben Johnson, he's trying to tweak some things with Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams has a solid game this week. I think the running game with Swift and them are going to be good. Roma Duze is going to go off again. I think those cornerbacks for the Cowboys can be had, especially with DeJuan Bland out. Even if he was there, I'd still think. But they got Davion Clowney on the defensive line, but he hasn't played football. So I'm gonna go with the Bears in a close game. I think it's gonna be high scoring. I'm gonna go 38-35 Chicago.
For sure. Yo, shout out to Ben. I see you in the chat, my boy. I agree with you. I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears as well. Some in my gut just gives me this feeling that Chicago Bears. I feel like offensively they have improved. That defense is still mad suspect. But I'm gonna go with them at home. I think the Bears win. I think Caleb finally gets his first win with Ben Johnson, and I'm gonna go. I can see it being a high scoring game. I'm gonna go. Let's go 37-34.
My Kansas City Chiefs travel to the Meadowlands to face the New York Giants. Both teams 0-2. Chiefs are desperate for a win right now. Probably they probably felt like they had a chance to win that game last week if Travis Kelce doesn't drop that pass. The Giants they came to life last week against the Cowboys, especially Russell Wilson. He was just throwing YOLO balls to Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. But I think Spagnuolo is going to have a game plan. He tends to do well against Russell Wilson. He tends to give Russell Wilson problems and forces him into some interceptions. I think my Chiefs bounce back, get their first dub of the season. I'm going to go with a score of, I'm going to go 24-14.
For sure. This is gonna be an interesting game. I think with the offense looking like it was clicking with Russell Wilson. Obviously the Chiefs defense is gonna be a little bit better. I'm gonna be super excited to watch the matchup with Malik Neighbors and Trent McDuffie. I think that's gonna be a really exciting matchup between two great young star talents. But I hate to say it, but I think the Chiefs get their first win. I can't imagine them going down 0-3, especially against the Giants. Now, if it was against anybody else, then we'll see. Y'all do have a big game the following week against the Ravens, so I don't know if I don't think y'all overlook it because I think y'all took two tough losses. I don't think y'all want to go down 0-3 going against the Ravens because that would look like straight 0-4, and that would not be good going into that. So my man already owes me a burger, so I will he owes me 2 burgers. So I'm gonna give him this dub. I'm gonna put a smile on his face, and I think the Chiefs win, and I think it'll be a close game. I'm gonna go Chiefs win. Let's go 24-23.
Plus Xavier Worthy and Jalen Rose is back, baby. Let's go. Yeah. And then we got Monday Night Football, a real banger. We got the Lions traveling to Baltimore to face the Ravens. Both teams coming off of really good wins. Both coming off of divisional wins too. This is an interesting game right here because we're going to learn a lot from the Lions. I think this has more to do with the Lions than the Ravens. We all know the Ravens are good.
Yeah, we do.
We already know the Ravens are good. Can they? I'm not sitting here saying that they're going to put 52 on the Lions. So the last time the Lions faced the Ravens, they got smoked.
They did.
And I think they remember that. I'm still picking the Ravens because they're at home. They're Lamar Jackson on primetime games. This Monday Night Football. I think Derrick Henry has a bounce back game than what he had last week. He only had like 30 yards last week. But I think that it has more to do with that Cleveland defense than it does, anything else. I think he has a bounce back game. I think Zay Flowers has a good game. I think DeAndre Hopkins, he's showing that he's going to be like their possession guy, get the big third down catch, the red zone stuff. We have yet to see Mark Andrews do anything. I don't know, but he hasn't looked good. But I'm going to go with the Ravens. I'm going to go 31-24 Ravens.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Ravens too. I just think they are the better team. I think it could be an exciting matchup. This could be a Super Bowl potential matchup. It really could. I'm not going to sit here and deny that the Lions can't do it. I do think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it will be a blowout. I think both offenses are clicking. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another DeAndre Hopkins touchdown. I think my man's been balling. Seems like he got the foul in the youth. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. Let's go 30-27.
Okay. All right, man. That does it with our NFL Week 3 predictions.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else, brother?
One thing, it's funny, people. Like, we really tried hard to keep this to being like an hour show, maybe an hour and a half. and yet we still hit over 2 hours. It is amazing to me. It is amazing, man. It is amazing. But I'm not mad at it, man. You know, I love doing this, man. So, but I'm ready to eat and I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
I'm old, brother. I don't have it in me no more, man.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? Shout out to WWE. We ain't doing a shop today.
Shout out to the girls that don't give their men drama either.
If you want to donate to our cash, you can donate to Cris Mall Podcast. We'll appreciate everything that you donate to us. Anything, I mean. Whatever streaming platform that you use, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, whatever you use, we are available on all streaming platforms. First time watchers on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, the notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays 9-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you could jump in the live with us. You could talk about these topics with us. We want to hear from you. Agree with us, disagree with us. We want to hear from you. So subscribe to the channel. And those who listen on the playback, go and leave a comment in the comment section and share it with your friends.
Yeah.
And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Kick, whatever you use, we are available on there at Cris Style and Mall. Follow us. We'll follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk music, movies, sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. Also, if you have critiques or feedback, or if you have a question or topic that you want us to bring up the show and we like said topic or question, we will bring it up. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up via DM, email, or our mention. All right, good people. And enjoy the rest of your week. We will be back Monday with a big announcement. Where we will react to all the NFL, college football, and any other sport. WNBA. We got a big one against and Aces against Seattle tomorrow. Win or go home. And there will be a big disappointment if Aces lose tomorrow. They're at home. So they should close that out and go to the next round. So but until Monday, we out, y'all.
Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Holla at y'all.